Hello, this is Mike with Trade Winds RV Center, here to congratulate you on your Keystone Reign 15 RV travel trailer. I'm going to walk you around it, show you how to use a few things so you can get the best out of your camping experience. Let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite. A couple things to think about when you're parking this. On your campsite, make sure you leave plenty of room for your awning. On your off campsite, no slide to worry about. I really just want you to think about where your power and water connection is going to be. Your power is going to be right behind your tire, and then your docking station is up toward the front. So park accordingly so you can utilize the facilities at the campsite. Once we arrive, we're going to unhook our hitch and level our unit with this hand crank. To the right we'll bring it up. To the left, I think I'm all the way at the top. The left will bring it down. Bring it down until you're level. You can just stick a level on there. Get your unit level. Once it is level, next thing we're going to do is stabilize it. All four corners of the unit have these scissor stabilizing jacks. Before I run these down, I'm going to recommend stabilizing jack pads. Jack pads are going to protect the feet of your stabilizing jacks from dirt and debris. Keep them from sinking into hot blacktop at some campsites. Really good investment. Use your 10% off coupon. Grab a couple packs of those. Put them down and then just run these down to their taunt. You can use a drill gun. I don't recommend an impact driver. It tends to be too strong and pull this mechanism apart in here with washers and whatnot. So again, once you get to the bottom, slow down, and remember, we don't want to lift it. We're already level, so once we're taunt, once it feels like it's going to lift it, go ahead and stop. Get all four of those down, two in the front, two in the back, level and stable. Let's hook up our power and water. You got a big long 30 amp cord. Plugs in here in the rear. The way that'll go in, you'll line the cornered one up. Once it's in there, turn it to the right a little bit, and then put your black washer on. Now, should you need to, plug into a 110 in your convenience pack. Will be a 30 to 15 amp reducer. And if you're at a campsite where they only have 50 amps hookups, the convenience pack will have a 30 to 50 amp dog bone, we call these. All right, got your power hooked up. Let's go hook up your water. At campsites, we're going to hook up to city water connection. Grab your water pressure regulator. The one that comes with your convenience pack is going to reduce water pressure to about 45 psi. Always use these because you don't know what the water pressure is at different campsites. Hook that up to the city water connection. Hook up your hose. Only one more thing to check before turning that hose on. Let's find your hot water heater. There it is. You may have been done camping and opened up this pressure release valve. Drain a little bit of residual water out of there. If you have, make sure that's back down before you go ahead and turn that hose on. After that hose has been on for a few minutes, go inside, open up your water lines, your sinks, your showers, get all the air out of the lines. Nice steady flow of water going through them, and then you're all set to camp. Now let's say we're going to go dry camping. We're going to fill up our freshwater tank over here to the left. No need for water pressure regulator here. You can just gravity fill this with a hose. Two ways to tell it's full. One, there's an overflow valve right here. Or two on the inside where you check the level of your black and gray tanks. There's also a freshwater button. Don't leave this unattended while you're filling it. Once it's full, put this cap back on there. And then whenever you want to utilize that water, you'll turn on your water pump indoors. Don't turn on your water pump when hooked to city water. That is already pressurized. All right, we're all set to camp. We got power and water. I'm gonna go ahead and walk you around the rest of the unit, continuing here in this docking station. Up top, you've got a hot and cold shower for this spray port hose right here. Quick connect to that. Again, down here, fresh and city water. When you want to winterize it, you'll turn this to the left. That's going to bypass your hot water heater for you. And then you'll siphon in your antifreeze down here. And then over here is your black tank flush. We'll talk about that when dumping our black tanks. If you want to run your water hose down and close this, this opens up to run your water line down through there, so you can close this. There's also a light up top. Inside here, Over here's your battery disconnect. That will disconnect all the battery power to the unit. And over here is your inverter. Pull on those for your doors to close. These are what they call a slam lock. Slam them, lock them. The hot water heater, 0 is off, line is on. Must be set to line in order to turn it on indoors. And we'll talk about this when we're inside. Coming down the rear of your unit, remember this is not a step, that is a wheel well. It's not safe to step on. Cable at the campsites you can plug in here. There's your power. Back here you've got your gray tank and your black tank. Talk about those when leaving the campsite. Got a spare tire back here. I recommend getting a cover for this. This is just going to set and bake in the sun all summer. You want that to be good when you're ready for it or need it ever. Max air vent fan. Come down your campsite. Your awning does have a pitch adjust. You can pull down on this and that will pitch your awning away in case it's raining. You want a little rainwater to run one way. I, however, am not a fan of leaving them out in the rain. Rain means high winds. High winds are the enemy of awnings. Just bring them in the rain. Up here's a hood vent for your range indoors. This is the flue for your furnace. A few things on that. One, make sure it's never blocked. Two, if you are running your furnace, steer clear of that. It does get hot. And lastly, there's some bug guards for those. Nice little screen that goes over those. Underneath here is going to be our low point drains. Coming toward the front of the unit, you got a quick connect LP here in case you want to hook up a griddle outside. The other side of your pass-through storage, stabilizing jack and spare tire, hand crank, water hose we give you. Your propane does have a cover. Down your regulator, just pointed toward the tank you should be using, lefty-loosey to open. Out here is your battery disconnect here as well. And then over here is where you can plug in a solar panel to trickle charge your batteries. It covers everything out here. Check out the inside. Coming up inside the unit, first thing I always point out is the fire extinguisher. Make sure everyone that's camping with you knows the fire extinguisher is located at the entry doorway in case of an emergency. You step in, look all the way up top to the left. Here's where you check the level of your battery, your fresh, black, and gray tanks. Down here's where you turn on your water pump to get to that fresh water. Interior lights, and these are just like accent lights. Interior, this is your main interior. Awning lights, awning extension. A couple things on your awning. First, running the inner out, your door cannot be all the way open, so just make sure that it's not in the way of your arm back there. And you only want to run that out until that flat falls down. You can see that bar. If I were to hold it, extend down, that'll keep going, flip up onto itself, and start to run itself up backwards. So keep an eye on it when you run that out. Make sure you don't run it out further than you need to. Again, making sure your door's out of the way. As I run it in, I'm mentioning your interior lights actually have a dimmer switch. So that's kind of cool. As your awning comes in, shut off your awning lights and let you know that these slam locks work best when gently slammed. I'm gonna sit right down here and talk about your fireplace. Starting with your remote, you have to be right down on it in order for it to work. So make sure that you're in front of it when you turn it on. Not just for looks anymore. I can make it brighter or dimmer, the light on it, but the biggest thing is the heat. If it's chilly in here in the morning or evening, crank that heat up and it'll get it toasty in here in no time. It's actually getting pretty hot right now, just after sitting here for a second. Save your gas, use their electricity. I will continue in. We've got a self-explanatory microwave. I think this is a convection microwave. You got a lot of remotes over here. A lot of manuals in there on this microwave, a few other things. Just make sure you go in there and read them all. Turn on your panel light, turn this to your flame, push on it, and that'll light it. Note, when you first get to the campsite, you may have to turn on your gas, keep hitting that spark a couple times until you get one lit, because what you may have to do is bleed some air out of the lines in between your tanks and here. Make sure this glass top is down when you're traveling. Over here is our thermostat. Crank the heat up. There's your return for that. Get the heat coming out. Shut that off. What you're going to notice now is it's going to take 2 or 3 minutes for that to cycle through before it shuts off. That's your heat. Whereas your AC is all controlled from right here. Quick dump on those. When you close that, it blasts more down through the other vents. Fridge controls are inside. Make sure you turn that on in there. Into the bathroom. Not much to talk about in here, other than my light switch. There it is. The hot water heater. So you can turn that on. Normally set in between 120 and 130 depending on the person. So the whole objective in these is, what you want to do is set the hot water at where you're comfortable taking your shower at. You don't want to mix cold water with it unless you absolutely have to. You want to just try to run it just hot water in your shower. Here's that vent. Press that out and turn that on. Right there on top, excuse me. Pull it back in. Not much more to talk about in here. Oh, when you first arrive at the campsite, flush your toilet. Once you're hooked up, go ahead and put several gallons of water into your black tank. Your black tank will thank you later. This door, you want to make sure that it is snapped closed for travel. You don't want this moving and bouncing around down the road. So you want that put away, snapped in. Down here, breaker box and fuses. You've got a couple of 15s, 30, 40. Highly recommend having a handful of those with you when you go camping. Continuing in, let's talk about your television. You've got the safety strap on it already. Here's your remote. So this is the Connex ETV, or otherwise entertainment television. You can run TV indoors, radio outdoors, whatever you decide you want to do. I was trying to hook up to the internet. But go in here. My biggest thing with these, this manual is going to show you how to use it. When you arrive at your campsite, run a digital channel scan so that you can pick up all the local channels of where you're at. A couple of emergency escape windows. The way those work is they are on a hinge outside from the top. So you can push this out and have enough room once you yank this screen out for a person to get out through this window, as well as this one. Smoke alarm up here. Put some remotes away. Again, and here's your manuals. Bring your bed down. First you can jackknife this down by lifting the front, laying it down. Unsnap that. Just that quickly, that lays down into a bed. Lift that back up. Get your blankets out of the way. Lock that in there. Lift up your sofa. And just that quickly, get back to a sofa. Alright, so let's act like we're leaving the campsite and close the unit up. I like to come over here and shut off my main lights. Then I know any other lights that are on our accent lights. I need to shut off. All lights are off. Turn on my main lights and say doors and drawers. Walk through your unit, make sure all doors and drawers are closed. Nothing's going to be lost or damaged during travel. That door snapped closed. Vents are closed. TV snapped in. Come in here, shut off your lights, and exit your unit. Now before you leave the dump station, and I say that because you're going to go inside there and check your tanks as you're dumping. But before you leave the dump station, lock, deadbolt, lift and turn that handle. That's how you want that handle to travel. All right, we'll put away our steps. If you're camping, dry camping, or at a campsite, we're going to bring up our stabilizing jacks. Dry camping, we're going to come over here underneath our hot water heater and dump that. That's going to be our freshwater drain. Hook up our hitch and head on home or the nearest dump station, whatever we're in need of. If we're at a campsite, again, we'll bring up our stabilizing jacks, unhook our power, our water, our cable, hook up our hitch and head on up to the dump station. At the dump station, park accordingly. Your dump is all the way at the rear of the unit. That 10-foot hose comes with your convenience pack. We're going to hook that up to our black tank here in the rear. Once you got that hooked up, go ahead and pull that handle. Once that sounds like it's no longer draining, go inside, check the level of your black tank. If it shows empty or close to it, come back out here, leave that handle open, come up here to your docking station, grab the hose at the dump station, and hook it up to this tank flush valve. Again, emphasizing leaving that black handle open. Turn that hose on, let that run for a good 5 minutes. It's going to wash that nastiness out of your black tank. When that's done, close that up. Take this sewage hose, close that up, and hook it up over here to your gray line. Go ahead and pull that. Once that one sounds like it's no longer draining, close that up. Go to the other side, dump your low point drains. When them are all done, take your sewage hose and store it right here in your bumper and head on home. Again, thank you guys so much for your purchase. Hope you enjoy this rain for many years to come. Happy camping.